Hi everyone, this is Killshot99 Gaming. This is The Walking Dead Season 9. Who are you now? Countdown live. So it looks like Scott Kernan posted a little bit earlier that production has wrapped up. So what we have is what we have. So we'll dig down to see if there's any mass edits that are going to go down, but everybody looks like they can take off, go on vacation, and it's left to us to figure out the last half of the season. So we got Valar with a super chat, says, hello 99 Army, Kill, Steph, Kells, Emmy, Sweet Tommy, sponsors, patrons, and of course, all the super chatters. We got some good stuff going down tonight, so I do have to warn you, there will be a little bit of spoiler talk tonight. We will go through some of the steps of the show. I don't know if we're going to go line by line of what's going to happen, because we did a complete spoiler episode couple days ago, and we know there's some neat things that are going to go down. A lot of interesting conversation that is either on our Facebook page or back and forth with you guys or people messaging me. I've definitely seen it. I've heard Carol compared to Legolas. We're calling Rick's son Rebar Grimes. We've got all kind of neat things going on, but this is going to be the first episode without Rick, and don't hate me for reminding you, because they're going to remind you the first 15 or 20 minutes of tonight's episode. It's going to be a little bit of a tearjerker to start it out, but then we are going to ramp it up really, really quickly and just test the emotions, see how everybody does for the next step. Somebody also sent me some information from, this is funny, and then we'll get into a little bit of the countdown. So someone had messaged me and said, hey, Kills, it's... what's the site? Soapdirt.com has a new article out and says that Rick, Michonne, Judy, they're all going to be in a movie together. Let me tell you, I learned my lesson from one time. Soap Dirt seems to be garbage. I checked like 2 of their spoilers, and they were both terrible. They were so far off. We actually did a video on it, and I think after about 150,000 people watched the video, we didn't do a retraction, because I did say in that video, this is from soapdirt.com, but it could not have been more wrong wherever they got their information. So I'm going to hold off before I make any official validations of what they do. I mean, you guys know, Spoiling Dead, if they throw it out there, it's probably legit. If Soap Dirt puts it out there, we'll probably not use them as a resource. All right, let's get to a little bit of, and hey, thanks to all of you guys who are here a little bit earlier. We had some good chat with the Judith conversation and also the Negan conversation earlier. So remember, early in the morning, Saturday at noon, Sunday 11 o'clock, we do our streams. Some are going to be Walking Dead topics. Some are going to be specific to characters on The Walking Dead. So tonight's episode, as I mentioned with the countdown, and also just keep in mind, turn away if you don't want to know some of the spoilers. We're going to pick a few topics and focus on those. So the first thing is really, how's the episode going to begin? And you guys know it's going to be Michonne visiting the area where Rick died, and we're going to start to get these little mementos. So after she visits that area and kind of gives us that moving, kind of talking to herself how much she misses him, she goes and she finds this car and it gets a little toy sheriff. So that probably going to be something. I think these keepsakes are going to be pretty important. Michonne's toy sheriff, who knows, that's going to come back into play later on. Carol has the wedding ring ordeal that's going to happen tonight. So I guess as you get further and further, then, and you're further removed from the people you cared about, you do have to take these things. Remember, Rick had the handprints of Carl and Judith, and that was important to him. So it's going to be interesting to see the way some of these things play out, and if we see them kind of unwind later on in the show. So, Maggie, we don't know what happens to Maggie. Any word, any rumors, any speculation? I mean, do you think we'll see like a Maggie cameo? I know that there's a lot of people frustrated, and they said they didn't send her off, and nobody knows at this point. The assumption is she's with Georgie. But maybe they filmed and we will see a flashback scene or something. How would you guys like to see that go down? I just want to see some of the thoughts out there. Yeah, I mean, she's gone. But no one has heard anything, have they? And we are 7.5 years since, Maggie was begging Rick to kill Negan the first time. Yeah, if they're Valar, if they're going to go through the ordeal of mentioning Rick and how much people miss him, then I'm sure we're going to get the storyline whenever they make their way back to the hilltop, because we do know that Carol is making her way back to the hilltop with little Henry, and Earl is going to teach him how to be a blacksmith. So we'll get to find out who's in charge of the hilltop. So what is it that you guys, especially those that know the spoilers and many of you that are here do, what are you most looking forward to tonight? Because there's a lot of things going down. Is it the Father G, Rosita romance? Is it Magna and her crew? Is it the Whispers at the end? Is it Judith and Negan? Is it RJ, I guess is what they're calling him? Scott, yeah, I heard that too. Cohan is signed for 6 episodes, but maybe there's another episode where they've already filmed her and they're going to put pieces of it. Maybe it's not the first 6. Think about that. Nerd Life says Whispers. Sheila Max says Magna. Julia RJ. Nether Fox, looking to see Judy's story built up. Donnie Thompson with Negan. I'm not looking forward to seeing Negan, Donnie. I might be looking more forward to seeing Negan in about 2 episodes. It's just this beat down old man is still in a jail cell. They got to give him a story soon. Here's a few of the questions that I do want to throw out there, and I don't know if we're going to get them answered in this week's episode or any hints from it. Oceanside. After a 6-year time skip, what do you think the deal is with the ladies of Oceanside? Do you think they're just no longer Oceanside and they're just merged in? We won't even refer to them as a separate group now. They're just all Alexandria or Hilltop. Some people are like, they're gone. Some are like, we don't care. I'm going to go with merged. How about Dwighty boy? Some curiosity still out there. Dwight's coming back. But where has Dwight been for 7 years? 7 years will completely change a person when they're out there on their own. People are saying bringing back Whispers. See, Carrie, I don't know if Dwight is with the Wizards. I'm going to give you a... who wants a bold prediction? How about a bold prediction? Do you have any idea what Toledo is? I think Toledo was on the sign. That's what you're talking about, Scott? I think that was some reference to MASH. All right, I'm going to give you a bold prediction because it's the only storyline I could possibly think of for Dwight. No, I'm not going to say Dwight's on a pike. I think that the infinity sign did mean something. And Sherry was taken by the Whispers. And I think Dwight knows of the Whispers. And he's been out there tracking them down, picking them off little by little. And I think Dwight will be reunited with the group once the Whispers make their way to attack the group. And that's when Dwight will share a little bit of intel, like he's been following them, he knows who they are. That's the only story I can really come up with Dwight, because he's not going to come back and ask for help. He's not going to come back and say, hey, come help me fight these people. He's got too much pride. So I think he's just been out there on his own and mowing them down little by little. And something will bring them all back. Yeah, you guys see? Write that one down because it'll be on some other channel in 2 months. You know how we roll. Yeah, see? Um, I don't see Dwight as a villain. He started out as a semi-villain, and I think too many people like him, and I just don't. Yeah, I don't think we're gonna see Dwight on a pike. And it will also be good that the group gets another kind of a strong character that can help them out. Especially if we lose a couple and you feel like, all right, the odds are against the main group, the Whisperers are sort of winning, and then a couple people show back up. Be nice if one of those was Rick, but that's not going to happen. Okay. Well, Janet, and the way I think that'll play out is I think he'll warn them when he's not worried about showing up and getting killed by Daryl. Daryl sort of threw down the gauntlet, right? Daryl said, "Don't come back or I'll kill you." So he's not going to come back and ask for help. All right. Anyway, that's my Dwight prediction, and we'll see if it comes true. I'm skipping around here because you guys know many of the spoilers for tonight. Here's another question I have, because we know, I guess, some of the big romance news is Father G and Rosita. Any other potential relationships that you see, or do you think it's possible that there are some other children and we're going to be trying to figure it out? I'm looking forward to the things that we don't know with the spoiler. Like, we see, we're going to be figuring out, oh, that's Henry. Okay, we'll know that, and we'll see what Henry looks like a little bit older. Henry's probably, 16, 17 at this point? And then we're probably going to see some other kids. You think Jerry has any kids? You think, they are rebuilding. So are there any other relationships or any other families that you think that we're going to see? Jerry Jr.? That's what I'm talking about. Good point, Lisa Khaleesi. So Gracie. Could Jesus and Aaron have raised Gracie? You think that's a possibility? I'm still holding out that my prediction from Season 1 is going to hold true. I don't know if you guys remember this, but my prediction was that Season 1 would start out and it would be Jesus and Aaron living together. And it's already assumed that they're in a relationship. So if that happens tonight at some point, then, I'm just like 4 months late. It's okay. Scott Kernan, do you have any idea on Herschel Jr.? Scott, we're going to find out Herschel Jr. whenever we find out Maggie. There's no way they're not going to tell the Maggie backstory of why she left. It could be something as, I guess as detailed as a flashback, or it could be something that we see tonight where a couple of people are talking, probably Jesus, and we start to see the new structure of people, and, it makes the comment like, things have really been quiet here, since Maggie left with Georgie. I think that's probably the way we're going to find out. And I know there's fans that don't like that because they want a more grand exit and a stage, but we're going to find out. So listen for any dialogue, any little hidden points. Kind of like when Jesus came out and said, Georgie wrote another letter. We knew that was right around the corner. Right, I agree with that too, Casey. I don't think she's been gone for the whole 6 years. She could have left a couple of months ago. She could have left 5 years ago, 4 years ago. But I'm pretty sure they're going to tell us that story. The Walking Dead usually doesn't, at least lately, they've been pretty good about letting us know what happens, or if it's a case like Rick, letting us know that something else is going to happen, like a movie. The Maggie movie. I'm not sure. I'm not sure that I want to shell out $12 to go see that, if it were to happen. Thank you, Kimberly G. Kimberly G reminding everybody, hey, slap that like button. If it's Walking Dead Day and you guys are having a good time and you like the countdowns and you like talking about our show and, of course, the raw reactions we're going to have after the show, then, hit that like button a few times. Logan says, are the Saviors just marauding bad guys now? It appears like it. And many of you that missed a stream earlier, we did get onto the topic of what the Saviors could potentially do with Negan. I'm going to throw this out there too. I think they want to free Negan. I think they've been living out there, and they're living in they're just disillusioned. So they think that, okay, we can get it back again. All we need is a strong leader. We got 5 of us. We got 6 of us. Let's just get Negan out, and then he'll show us the right way to do it. And they may even free him, and Negan's probably going to be like, nope, we can't do that again. And then there could be some animosity. I'm waiting to see Negan do something, either kill a Savior or completely neglect the Saviors in order to bring closure to that whole chapter. And start to get him a few little points. But he better be careful if he tries to manipulate Judith tonight, because I don't think that's going to go over well with the crowd. Steel Mob. Do I think the Saviors are still at the sanctuary? I got this weird feeling that the sanctuary didn't make it because they couldn't grow crops. And if they're out there trying to hijack people and rob people, once again, and those of you that don't know the story or the spoiler from tonight, and this is Spoiling Dead's fan page produced this. Don't want to take credit for spoilers, but Carol and Henry are going to be walking back to Hilltop. Can you guys think of any reason why these Saviors would take her wedding ring? Other than they're just for spite? And have they not had any interaction in the last 6 years? I mean, there's no value to it. And Cammie, I guess at this point, to trade, but I don't think there's anything that has monetary value these days. Yeah, I mean, I can tell you, there's a whole lot of dead walkers around there. You can find a lot of wedding rings. So the fact that they're going to take something that's important to Carol away from her is just, they're just trying to piss her off. And of all the people out there, why would you want to piss off Carol? They can't be that dumb. Here's Carol. She's peaceful, not causing any problems. If she's got a basket of tomatoes, grab those tomatoes from her. If you really want to do that, run away, eat the tomatoes. You don't start taking, things that are important to people personally. You let the sleeping dog lie. You don't wake up that beast in Carol. Just don't do it. I got a super chat. Crawfish, what is preferred, super chat or sponsorship? You know what, Crawfish? I don't have a preference. We have a lot of people that support this channel in so many different ways. We have Patreons, sponsors, super chatters. I would never make a preference. I think people that support this channel should support it however they see fit, and I'm appreciative of anything that you guys do. Tanya says they're pissed at Carol. She was the one to protect them. Yeah, I guess that's just 6 years later. I guess the writers put that in just to show that there is still bad blood between the groups. Do you guys think that's a little overkill, perhaps? I don't want to dwell on it too much. So let me get back to sort of how I thought this would play out. They can't just do the time jump without reminding us there's a time jump. So they have to remind us that Carol's peaceful and she's happy and she's in a relationship. They have to remind us that the Saviors are still renegades. They have to remind us that 6 years later, Rick's legacy is still important. So, assumably, Michonne is doing this every day. But here is, I think it might be, it's a lot of detail, but it's probably necessary. So, we'll have to go back and refer to it. But it's probably safe to say that this time skip is more time than everything that's happened since we've been watching The Walking Dead. Is that a fair assessment? The second time skip is 6 years. Yes, because you probably figure Judith is what, 10? So if Judith is 10, that means everything that's happened in The Walking Dead happened in 4 years. So we've missed more than we've actually watched. That's a lot. That's a lot of stuff. And if you're wondering about movie content or things that storylines, I mean, there's a lot of untold stuff, right? More than double. And think of all the things that have happened. Atlanta, the outbreak, Shane, Glenn, Jenner, Terminus, Alexandria, the prison, I mean, Negan, everything along those lines. And now you've got 6 years worth of untold stories, and people are still hurt. Michonne is talking to Rick like it just happened yesterday. So there's a lot that has went down. Looking forward to seeing some of that play out, and plenty of time for the whispers to form and to become out of control. This might really give us an indication of how bad the world is at this point, because there was, they rebuild twice, 3 times. So every time they rebuild, this might be something that there's a group out there that said, forget rebuilding. You just got to hang with them. You just got to survive. You just got to live among them. Just checking out a couple comments here before we start to transition. Well, Sarah Drumheller says, why do a huge time skip like that? There's a couple reasons. One is you got to show the characters change. If you don't time skip from, and this is a bigger time skip than most, but if you don't time skip, you're going to run into situations like Carl, where he's too old to play the role. The next thing, I think, is what we just talked about. I think the time skip is going to have us asking questions. Well, what happened? What did we miss? When did Maggie leave? How many other people been in a relationship? Where is Rick? What other people might have gone missing in that time period? Do you think there are other people? I mean, the Maggie drama is probably a good situation. I guess this is rhetorical. Do you think there are going to be several other people that just aren't on the show, and we're not going to get an explanation, and they might show up in a movie? Let's say Tara, for example. Let's say we watch the rest of the season and we don't see Tara one time. We could make the assumption that Tara's dead, Tara went looking for someone, whatever the case may be. OU Crawfish with another super chat says, Ring's value is when they send it to Ezekiel in the kingdom. if something were to happen to Carol Crawfish, yes. But apparently from the spoiler, she just kind of walks away from it. I guess they're trying to push her buttons. That's what I got. Let me double check the spoiler because I could be wrong with that. They run into some saviors, Regina and Jed. The saviors rob them, and they take Carol's wedding ring. So it looks like they just rob them and take off. And, of course, she is going to exact some revenge on it. But she gets it back. You know, a lot of the talk has been about the time skip in the relationships, though, but keep in mind, it's not just who's available. I think you're going to see some people become couples that may complement each other. Like Rosita, for example. I mean, Rosita's just been out there. She couldn't find any peace. She was, bloodlust and killing, and maybe Father G provided that different perspective she was looking for. That's something I'm going to be looking for tonight, too. I'm going to be looking for which relationships might have happened, but I think there's just going to be a lot of things in the works that they can't tell every single story. So for those of you that like hidden clues, and I love them, I'm going to be taking a lot of notes just to see what transition and what change potentially could be out there. Saviors 007 watching from the hospital. Hopefully, thanks for watching us and being a part, and hopefully you get well soon. Yeah, let's pay a lot of attention to the Negan Judith dynamic. 3 scenarios. Judith has bonded with Negan, and she'll let him out to save him. Second scenario, the saviors will try to break Negan out, and they'll be successful. Or the third scenario is someone else is just trying to kill him. Maybe there are, a couple Oceanside ladies that just want to finish the job, and they waited 6 years to do it for whatever reason. Don't have the answer to that. It's so hard to figure out some of these stories the first episode back. But I'm going to tell you, by next week, we're going to be in full swing, because I just think there's going to be a lot of visual stuff that we got to pick up on. Commodore Crawfish. See, Captain Crawfish just sounded so good. I can't stop saying it. So, OU Crawfish says, will Jesus and Aaron hook up before Jesus' demise? I will definitely be watching for that tonight, Crawfish. It was a prediction I made a long time ago. I thought it would have happened at the beginning of this season. So I'm just going to say yes. I'm going to say that it's implied, and we're going to see them living together either tonight or next week. I think we'll see them already moved in together. Tommy, we'll jump into that probably tomorrow, because we do have a couple contests. So Tommy asked about the name change and the survey. We'll make an announcement. And also, Steph has given the Grimes packet, so it's going to be the Grimes giveaway. And we're going to post a picture up and have you guys do the caption on our Facebook fan page. And we're going to do some more things over the next couple weeks as well. Now that we've gotten through there's a lot of build-up to last week's episode, and I think it'll be just a more normal schedule. So we're going to do some giveaways, some random things, and just some side chat. You know how we used to do it last year. We got a little bit more time on our hands. And Crawfish is officially giving me the green light to refer to Captain Crawfish. Man bun is the winner. You know what, Tommy? I think you should just change it to man bun. I think the crowd overwhelmingly like that. John 02 says, hey, Kills, love the show. Are all the wolves dead? I think that's a fair question. That, could some of the wolves have merged into the Whispers? And I would be very interested to see if there are some people that might have made it out that we pick on a little bit. Just, more hidden clues. When we do start to find out who the Whispers are and see some of the faces, maybe they bring some blasts from the past back. It's a big group, so you never know. And certainly, I could see somebody like Jed merging with the Whispers. I could definitely see him being loyal to that group. If Negan turns him down, well, think about that. Do you guys see that as a possibility? Negan shuns the Saviors, and what's left of the Saviors, maybe 15, 20, 30, they go and join the Whispers, or can Negan bring them back? I'm going to give you two choices. Will Negan turn his back on the Saviors and they leave and join another group, or will Negan find a way to keep them under wraps and make them a resource? Leave your thoughts and comments. Commodore, Jimmy's jamming. Why would I bite myself? I'm missing some of the sidebars. I'm definitely going to have to do a deeper dive into that in the reaction video. And Scott Kernan says, are we sure that Jesus is in danger for season 9? It was strongly suggested that Jesus would meet his demise, and it would be via Beta. I don't think we've gotten 100% confirmation on it yet, Scott, but it just sounded realistic that Beta will take out somebody major. And we're at 32 minutes, so we're going to wind the stream down, but I have one more question for each and every one of you, because we do know at the end of tonight's episode, we will finally get that scene, Rosita, Eugene, covered in mud, and the Whispers walk by. Where are they? All right, I did it one more time. I said I wasn't going to do it, but I did it. That was a faster version of it. I know it's creepy, just trying to set the mood for tonight. I don't think the Whispers are going to kill anybody tonight, but my question is, who will be the first person killed by a Whisper? Leave it in your thoughts and comments. We're not doing shout outs. I'm going to wind this video down, and the last thing anybody's going to see is your prediction. Enjoy the show. I'll see everybody at 10:15 during Talking Dead. Be ready for your reactions, and I want to see what you guys like best about the show, and we will do our ratings as well. So hold tight, and I'll talk to y'all soon. Peace.